My name's Hayden Jameson, and I've been living in Salt Lake for the last 6 or 7 years. And the last year have been working quite a bit with the WARI committee in Salt Lake Climbers Alliance, replacing bolts around Little Cottonwood, Big Cottonwood. Rebolting is a really specific skill set in the climbing world. It's not something that is very intuitive or easy. And I got involved with WARI through Jimmy Keithley. Jimmy has played a huge part in my knowledge base in rebolting route.
I started to work with Hayden because Hayden is a very capable climber, and he's climbed a lot of these routes here in Little Cottonwood, as well as having good on-rope skills. More importantly, he has the willingness and the availability to do the work, and he's very generous with his time. So I wanted to make sure that somebody like that was trained and was able to take advantage of some of the tools that we have with the Salt Lake Climbers Alliance.
And so Jimmy he's played a huge part in my knowledge base in rebolting routes. Replacing bolts, we usually try to go hole for hole, which means that we're removing an old bolt and replacing it with a new one in the same hole that it was originally placed in.
There's the sleeve.
Pretty much every time I go out and rebolt a route, even though it can be terribly frustrating and like kind of a gong show with a million things hanging off your harness, and it is always a super fun experience walking away from the cliff, kind of looking back at the thing that you've improved. And when it was put in, the original pecans, the original 1/4 inch bolts, you could actually fall in those things, but that kind of changes as a bolt is 30 years old and has been subject to 30 winters and 30 freeze-thaw cycles.
Yeah, I think anybody that's in a mentor-mentee relationship benefits.
Chop Jimmy.
As a teacher, you benefit because you're reiterating the skills that you've been taught.
Nice.
And you're reinforcing that ethos that we have.
End goal is to make Wasatch climbing as sustainable as possible.
That's me!
It's extreme, live action sports.
As climbing becomes more and more popular and more mainstream, it is going to be a big deal if somebody is involved in an accident because of the failure of a piece of fixed protection. And so I would say that our general mission is to create an environment where our fixed protection is reliable. I think it's important to be going back, revisiting these routes that were established in the 60s, 70s, and 80s with mixed metals and plated hangers and old hand-drilled bolts, and replacing them with new safe hardware that you can actually rely on.
Jimmy, take!
It's so hard. Even using the bolts, it's hard to get to the top.